Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I have a reading for you today. I'm not quite sure what's going to come up, but I have a feeling that we're all doing so much inner child work right now, inner child healing, inner child seeing, um, seeing things from the eyes of our child, of a past version of ourselves, of a version of ourselves from another life. Just keep in mind too that your inner child doesn't necessarily need to be young. It could just be a previous version of you. So it could be, the version of you from when you were 30 years old, that is bringing something up to be healed right now. It's a very powerful time to be doing this healing, and it's with everything that's in retrograde right now. It's inevitable, and it's really essential. It it feels like some kind of death energy. It feels like the death of the old way of being. It feels like your inner child surrendering their life, surrendering their themselves to this new life, to this higher level of consciousness, to this new way of thinking and not holding on to their pain anymore. But before they do that, they have to surrender and go through their death. For some of you, this is connected to the actual death of a child. That's what I'm hearing right now. There's a version of you. For some of you, it is 30 years old. There's a reason that I said that. For some of you, it was a 3-year-old. I'm seeing the number 3 from the number 30. And that version of you has come forth to be seen. They need to be seen. There's something that they are needing for you to see. So I'm going to get into it just a little bit more. Just take whatever resonates for you. Even if that information didn't resonate for you, there could be something more in this reading that's connected to your inner child. If anyone is interested in a private reading, you can just go to my website below. I have recorded sessions, and I also have guided one-on-one sessions that are kind of like counseling sessions, and we can dig down into, if you're having trouble with your situation or trouble seeing what the connection is, or even if you're just guided, I don't know why I was supposed to book with you, I don't know what kind of guidance I need, don't hesitate, go over and book a session with me. If you're needing help, if you are feeling kind of in a place of lack or you're not sure about the money, just email me and we'll work something out, okay? Okay. Okay, this first card came out. It says investigate. It's the number 7 card. So for some of you, it could be your inner 7-year-old. 321 on my recording. So this is going backwards to your 7-year-old. For some of you. And they're reminding me that if you have children too, if you have a 7-year-old or someone around that age, they are perfect little mirrors for the subconscious and inner child energy that you have coming from you. So you can always look at them, look at their behavior, look at their feelings, look at what things that they've been doing or expressing to you. And it can be an indicator of what you're missing about your inner child, something that happened to you when you were 7, or something that you experienced that your 7-year-old is having trouble expressing to you. It could be also that your actual child, your 7-year-old, is having a hard time communicating with you. They don't communicate their feelings with you. That is evidence of something from your childhood, from your inner child, that is really wanting to get your attention. It says, look closely, ask questions, think before acting. There's a giraffe on here. There's someone kind of blending in, hiding in the shadows over here. You can see it's like it's a person. creeping up on her almost. Something else with that. Let's see what else there is. Just had deja vu. So there's definitely some really intense timeline energy, timeline jumping energy in this reading. They're telling me choose. You can choose to see this stuff about yourself. You can choose to look into your shadows, or you can choose to kind of face forward and let the past go and just not address it and not connect in with the depth of that shadow or what's hiding there. I have a feeling it comes back later anyway, that the pattern of that comes back anyway, but not everybody is ready to face those demons, or, you know, those people say face their demons, and there's something scary about the energy of demons or ghosts or bad things. Negative energy has such a negative connotation to it, as if it doesn't have a purpose in your life, as if it doesn't benefit you, as if it's not a gift of contrast to you. Some people are not ready to see that yet, and so that's okay too. That's okay. It just means that you haven't gotten to the point yet where you do get to choose. You haven't gotten to the point yet where that shadow coming out or the release of that energy is something you're able to process and integrate into your life. So maybe that comes down the road. Maybe that comes down the road and you're not quite ready to address it right now. You're going to know that answer, and you do get to choose. You get to choose whether you want to do some of the work in your shadows, or if you want to kind of just face forward and do the work later is what I'm hearing, because it is going to come up later. So but the one thing that I want you to know is that all of our inner children are coming out to play at the same time. So make friends with each other. Connect with other people in the collective, in your community, in the groups that you're members on, like the Hawk's Nest. Go over and join the Hawk's Nest if you want an amazing, talented, gifted group of light workers who all have their inner children hanging out and bearing their souls to each other and supporting each other and crying together and laughing together, and they're all out at the same time because we all recognize that we are all going through this together. So go over there and join that if you need to reach out and connect with others. And I really encourage you to connect with others right now. You need friends. This is what it is. You need friends. Your inner child is screaming for their friends back. But your inner child is in mourning because the friends that they had, they're the ones that they want back, but they don't see that the ones that are coming in are the ones that are going to lead them to the promised land. I just heard, to the promised land. But your inner child is in mourning for the friends that they lost back then. And it's hard to let go of them because those friends felt like home. Soul friends or friends that play an important part in your life feel like home. And when they are taken away from you, or if they have left your life, or if they passed away, the energy of someone moving away or someone passing away to a child feels the same. It is like a death to them. So if they aren't able to properly process the removal of a home-like energy in their life, it's like their soul, a piece of their soul has left, and that soul fragment needs to be called back in again. So look into what part of your life does that resonate with? How old were you when something like that happened? Did someone die? For me personally, I know that this applies to me too. And it was when I was 7. When I was 7, my babysitter, who was like my best friend in the world and my only comfort, and she felt like home in the midst of major turmoil in my family, and she was just my steady force. She died in a motorcycle accident, and I never properly had the time to grieve, and or never knew how to, or was never shown how to, and it was the first death I ever experienced. The trauma of that detached a part of my soul, and it's hard for me to talk about. And she's come forward in the last week or so to be seen. She just needs to be seen and held and shown the way forward. She needs to be shown how to deal with it, to cry it out, to grieve, to really properly grieve, and to allow that death, to allow it and to see the gift that it was in her life and how much growth she will experience from it. But first she just needs someone to sit with her. So that's what we need to do for them right now. We need to tap into and connect with our inner children and be there for them and give them what they need. You can do that with meditation. You can do that with a kind of a ritual. You can do that with many different ways. Tap into your guidance and ask some questions, and you can get in touch with me if you need help with that too, and I can channel the guidance from your guides to lead you to how to connect in with your inner child if you're not sure quite how to do that. I have a network of light workers too that are really gifted and really amazing at leading that kind of journey for you to connect with that version of you. So if you need help with that, just get in touch with me. The next card is growing up, wanting to grow and experience, rejection of perpetual youth. It almost feels like this inner child that this is the number 17 card too. Could be someone at 17 who, this feels like it's another message. It's kind of a combined message too, but it may be a separate message too. Like someone who at 17 was forced to grow up, who like maybe you had a child when you were 17 years old and you were forced to grow up, forced to be an adult when you weren't quite done living your youthful life. Or those kids who, as soon as they turned 17, were like, I'm out of here, I'm fucking out of here, or turned 18, or whatever it is. Someone who moved out of the house at 17 just to get away from the abuse, to get away from the pain, to get away from the heartache and trauma in their home, and needed to leave. But the thing is, what they don't realize, and I'm just looking at this cat right here, it's almost like I'm taking my cat and I'm leaving. This cat also represents those demons that I was talking about. It's like you left that home, you left where the pain was, but you took the demons with you, because the demons are actually just the residual energy of that pain and trauma. You took that with you because it was never processed properly. It was just left behind. It was never put to rest. It never died. It just was left behind to fester over here. That energy didn't go anywhere. It just festered. But it follows you. It takes it goes with you. So that's for someone else too. It could be connected also to this 7-year-old who just wanted to leave that home or leave where that trauma happened. Yeah, that one is, wow. It's definitely about death, guys. This is about death. This is about fearing death. Fearing death. And we're in the middle of a death, rebirth, transformation right now. I said it in my last video too, like the phoenix phase. It's the burning up in flames into ashes to be reborn again. But the death phase is so important. It's we're kind of stuck in between worlds right now, and for some of us, it is connected to a death that we experienced in our past. Could be, for some of you, a death that you experienced literally, like a near-death experience that you had that was traumatic for you. But either way, we're in the middle of an energetic death right now. We're kind of in between dimensions. Mortality. Life is brief, bright, beautiful, and yours to live. So it's about finding beauty in that death. And I had a reading today, a rune reading by a friend of mine over in the Hawk's Nest, Jeff, that was saying those exact same words too, in finding the beauty in death and having endings, realizing that endings are also new beginnings. In this cycle that we live, in this karmic cycle or in this life cycle, when something dies, another thing is born, or in order for something to be born, something else has to die off. And there's so much beauty in that. There is beauty in the cycle of life and even in the endings of life, because it produces and it separates the divinity, the energy, the soul of a person that was in their body, and it takes that soul and it sends that soul to the light. That soul is meant to contribute to the power of the light. So when that person dies, when the human dies, their eternal soul goes back to the light, or is meant to go back to the light, and makes the light brighter. It raises the vibration. It sends another light being back to the light. If you understand what I'm saying. I just said light a million times, but that's the beauty in it. That's the light in it. It's so hard as a human to experience the loss of another human, but it's because we are, the grief takes us over and we aren't able to tap into the fear takes over. What happened to them? We can't tap into our divinity to connect with their divinity. There are a lot of souls right now too. Another energy that I've been tapping into is the fact that there are a lot of souls, especially this time of year, the veil being thin. I've said that before. There are a lot of souls that are kind of stuck in this realm that need to be healed and sent to the light. I strongly believe that if they are with us, they are meant to guide us to some sort of healing. And that healing is usually a reflection of the reason that energy is stuck with us. Once we heal it, we can send them back to the light. That's where they're supposed to go. That's where they are meant to be. So it's in essence, that soul has something that needs to be healed. And they are attached to us because that thing in us still needs to be healed too. So as we receive, as we tap into the healing for that aspect, we then give the healing back to these spirits, back to these energies, in order to give them the gift of eternal life. Something about her rainbow. It looks like she's got like these rainbows around her eyes, and Lloyd always says that about me too. When he looks at my eyes, sometimes in the sun, he can see like these rainbows around it. So they're showing me that. I think that's just validation for me. I'm sure it's going to mean something else to you guys too. This says, forget who you are. Conditioning falls away. Memory no longer defines you. So this is like your inner child again. If it means anything to you guys, this was the number 42, and this one's the number 41. 42 breaks down to the number 6, and 41 breaks down to the number 5. So it could be your inner 5-year-old. Take it however it resonates for you. But the conditioning falls away. So the life that you were given was not the one that you chose. The life that you've awakened to is the one that you chose. When you awakened, that is when you were born, really. It's when you were awakened to the truth of your life. And all the conditioning, all of the programming, all of the belief systems, everything about who everyone else said that you were, or who were building you up to be, or, they were crafting this version of you that and raising you the way that they thought you should be in order to fit in with the world that they created. That needs to die. All of that needs to fall away. And so that this life can start anew. Anything that happened before you were awakened, before you were reborn, needs to fall away. If that hasn't happened for you guys yet, it's coming. That's what's happening. Memory no longer defines you. Your inner child is not you anymore. And the wisdom that you've gained since you were that energy, since you were that old person, is so important to that inner child. Bring them up here with you. They're stuck. It's like I was saying with energies of people who have passed, if they are in between dimensions, if they haven't moved on to the light, it's because they're in between realms right now. They're in between dimensions. They are meant to go to the light, but they're stuck here because of a trauma, because of how they died, or because of your pain in connection with their death, and they weren't eased over in a way that was meant for them. It's almost as if your inner child is in the middle of that right now too. Your inner child is in between worlds, wanting to go to the light, to go and merge with you now, this higher consciousness, this more evolved person, but it's so hard for them to let go of their previous life because there's a pain there. There's something there that needs to be healed, that has a hold on them in order for them to go towards the light. So you need to tell them who they are now. You need to connect with that inner child and tell them what an amazing soul they are, and give them all the information that they need. Tap into them, find out what they need, and be there for them in a way that crafts and show them who they really are, not who they were programmed to be. For me, I remember driving home from her funeral, crying in the back of the big van that we had, and just crying very quietly because I needed to hide it, because that's what my family did. They hid their emotions. We didn't talk about things. We didn't address things unless they came out in a big fight. But then the next day, everybody would act as if nothing happened. We never talked about anything. And so my pain was buried very deep. My mother has even told me that she remembers on the way home from that funeral that I was just so quiet back there. I was so quiet back there. And I was like, yeah, I was back there sobbing and in so much pain, and I was really upset that I just wanted someone to know how much pain I was in. I just wanted my mom to check on me. I just wanted my mom to comfort me. I just wanted to know that everything was going to be okay, and I wanted to be able to express myself, but I just couldn't. So she's expressing that now, and I need to be there for her and allow her to express that, and allow her to mourn, and allow her to just surrender herself to me, surrender herself to the light. I hope that makes sense for you guys. All right, I'm going to stop that right there, okay? It feels like a lot. It feels kind of heavy, and it feels like a couple of different messages in here. The faces all look different, so just take what resonates for you and leave the rest behind. Some of this is meant for certain people and not you, and some of the other stuff is meant for you and not them. Just take whatever you need to from this and bring it in close to your heart and hold it. I just see you holding like a teddy bear. And it's funny too because I have this Care Bear that is very, very well loved, and from when I was younger. And I've been sleeping with it the last couple of nights. It's Cheer Bear, the one with the rainbow on the belly. So just know that in order to facilitate this, in order for you to kind of tap into the healing that you need, just know that you're so supported. There's a lot of Reiki energy. I sent some before the reading. If you are open to it, set the intention that you're willing to receive it, and that rainbow Reiki energy is going to hit you right in your chest and help you to guide you exactly where you need to go and what you need to know in order to connect in with your inner child, or where you need to go to figure that out. Okay? Open yourself up to it and just receive. All right? Like I said, if you need me, if you need help with anything, all of my information is down in the box below. Go over and book a session, or email me, or get in touch with me however you need to. Okay? All right, I'll talk to you guys soon.